Hello everyone and welcome to the monthly Sarasota Real Estate Market update. Today we're going to do a deep dive into what's really happening here in Sarasota County's single family home market, and I'm going to show you the numbers from the past 9 months of 2025 because as we know, September has come and gone, which also means that quarter 3 of 2025 is now officially over, believe it or not. So I'm going to start out by breaking down the first 3 quarters of the year, how we got to this point, and then zooming in closer on what happened last month in September. So by the end of this video, I hope that you're going to have a crystal clear understanding of what these numbers mean for both buyers and sellers. And most importantly, how you can use this information to make the smartest possible move in today's real estate market. All right, so let's rewind to the first quarter of 2025. In quarter 1, we saw the median close price of a single family home here in Sarasota be at around $495,000 or $272 per square foot. And we also saw that demand was steady enough where the median days to contract was only 39 days. Median days to close here in Sarasota County was 79 days. But as we look at what happened in quarter 2, and a very interesting shift happened here. We saw the median sale price for a single family home here in Sarasota go down to $464,250 or $262 per square foot. That is about a 6.2% decrease in median value of a home. We saw homes still moving pretty quickly, 47 median days to contract and 87 median days to close. And I also want to point out the increase in activity here from quarter 1 to quarter 2. In quarter 1, we saw around 1,900 single family home sales. In quarter 2, that number jumped to almost 2,300 single family home sales. To me, this tells us that there are buyers out there ready to make a move. And when they saw the prices dip a little bit, they didn't hesitate and they jumped in because that's a pretty significant increase quarter to quarter. That's around a 15% increase in terms of total market activity. And I think a big part of that was simply declining rates and also lower list prices as well. We're talking just about the close price being lower, but the median list price in quarter 2 as compared to quarter 1 was also down nearly $30,000. I think a lot of buyers saw that and they began to see opportunity, and this caused a lot of them to jump back into the market. Okay, so now let's take a look at quarter 3 here. We saw 2,011 total transactions, down a little bit from quarter 2, but still up from where quarter 1 was. And this is where you have to be careful, guys, when you're breaking down numbers, right? Because if we look at median sale price of a single family home here in Sarasota in quarter 3, we see $468,000. And then compare that to quarter 2, you see $464,000, right? You're like, okay, great, prices went up, right? Well, actually, no. Let's look at sale price per square foot. And in quarter 3, we see that is at $254.78 per square foot. In quarter 2, it was $262 per square foot, meaning that yes, the median sale price for a single family home here in Sarasota went up in quarter 3 compared to quarter 2, but we need to take into account that the houses that sold that make up that median data were simply just bigger. So that's why I think price per square foot is a much more accurate gauge of how the market is doing. And then here's another interesting part, right? Let's take a look at days to contract. Median days to contract, 61 days in quarter 3. Median days to close, 102 days in quarter 3, compared to 47 and 87 days in quarter 2, and 39 and 79 days in quarter 1. So now we're seeing in quarter 3 that buyers are just taking longer to make decisions. Houses are sitting on the market a lot longer. We're seeing days on market go up. We're seeing days to contract, days to close all go up. So for sellers, this means that patience is more important now than ever. So if your home doesn't go under contract in the first month, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to sell. Based on the data, I mean, we see that it takes 6 to 8 weeks now to find the right buyer for your home, which is a different rhythm than earlier in the year and in years past where demand was higher and buyers would make emotional decisions quickly. In today's market, buyers like to take their time, they like to look around, and they like to pick the home that's right for them. This just means as a seller, you have to stay realistic and be flexible. And for buyers, the lesson in quarter 3 is that the best deals don't linger forever. Yes, you have more time than you did in quarter 1, but the median still shows that homes are going under contract in about 2 months. That means if you see the right property priced fairly, it's not going to sit around waiting for you indefinitely. You've got to balance patience with readiness. So the big picture of quarter three is this. Sarasota's market is stable. Prices have flattened. They're cooling down a tiny bit, but it's not crashing. It's healthy, it's functioning, and it's giving opportunities to both sides of the transaction. All right, so now let's narrow down here even further and compare August to September, because this month-to-month snapshot is where we're gonna see the most immediate trends playing out. So here in August, you could see that the median sale price was $476,597, or $255 per square foot. Homes went under contract in a median of 64 days, and they closed in about 105 days. And in September, we saw these numbers shift slightly. The median close price was around $460,000 or $251 per square foot. That's about a 3.5% month-over-month drop. But we actually saw that days to contract and days to close sped up a little bit, and a slight uptick in terms of total transactions. So what can we make of all that? Well, prices dipped, but homes went under contract faster and closed faster. That combination tells us something very important. Buyers are simply sensitive to price. When prices softened in September, buyers stepped in more quickly. Sellers who adjusted their list prices closer to market value were rewarded with faster contracts and smoother closings. For sellers, the lesson here could not be clearer. In September, the homes that sold weren't the ones holding out for top dollar. They were the ones that met the buyers where they were. The data shows us that strategic pricing isn't just about selling faster. It's about selling your house at all. It's the number one thing that will make buyers move on your listing. Because when buyers see value, they act. So for buyers, September was a month of opportunity. Lower prices and lower interest rates meant more affordability, and the fact that deals were still closing in just over 3 months shows that inventory wasn't sitting idle. The right homes, when priced correctly, were still moving. This reinforces the idea that waiting on the sidelines isn't necessarily going to save you money. Instead, being prepared and decisive when a good deal comes along, that's what's going to give you the edge. So what does this all mean if you're looking to buy or sell a home in Sarasota right now heading into quarter four? For sellers, you're still in a strong position, but you've got to be smart. The days of throwing a high price on a listing and waiting for the offers to roll in are over. The median sale to list ratio has been holding steady at around 97% all year long. That's been one of the data points that haven't changed from quarter one, quarter two, and quarter three. 97% sale to list price, which means that buyers are paying close attention to asking price, but only when the asking price makes sense. If you overshoot, you risk longer market times and bigger price reductions. Meaning, if you start off by overpricing your listing, your house is going to sit on the market for longer, you're going to drop the price, and you're probably going to end up selling it for less than you would if you listed it for the appropriate market value to start off with, because days on market kills. When a buyer sees a home on the market for 100 or more days, they start to wonder if there's something wrong with the house. And then they get into a position where even if they like the home, they think, okay, well, this person is probably a little bit desperate to sell. Let me give them a terrible offer. What you want to do is position your home correctly from the start. Look at comparable sales. I personally like to look at what is sold in the neighborhood in the past 180 days and look at the median sale price per square foot. That is probably the easiest way to get a good gauge of what your home would sell for on the market. If you do that, the numbers show that you can expect to go under contract in about 2 months and close it in just over 3 months for nearly full asking price in today's market. That's a healthy timeline that gets you to the closing table without unnecessary stress. And for buyers, the opportunity is right now. Prices have come down slightly from the beginning of the year, and they've even dropped month to month. Along with that, interest rates have dropped as well. But remember this, the best deals are still moving in under 60 days. This means you cannot afford to drag your feet when you see the right home. You have to be ready to act now. Get pre-approved, know your budget, and be ready to act when you find a property that fits your needs. And one more point for buyers, don't get caught up in the myth that waiting will automatically get you a better price. This is not a collapsing market, it's a stabilizing one. If you wait too long, you risk missing opportunities and paying more later when demand picks back up in the winter and spring. So for both sides right now, the key word is strategy. Sellers need to strategize their pricing and presentation. Buyers need to strategize their timing and readiness. And both sides need to recognize that Sarasota remains one of the most resilient and desirable markets in Florida. People are moving here every day. Inventory is competitive and prices are holding firm compared to other parts of the country. So there you have it, guys. This was a video of all of the data that I've collected. We went over quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. We went over how September did and compared to August. Keep in mind though, this was only single family home prices. This did not include condos or townhomes. Those are a totally different story. I think it's really important to stay informed, which is why I wanted to get on here and just share the numbers with you guys. You can interpret these numbers as you will, but I just wanted to get on here and show you guys what exactly is happening here in Sarasota, so that way you can make the best decision when looking to buy or sell your home. Obviously, this data is for all of Sarasota County, which is really big. So whether prices have risen or fallen is going to depend based off of the area that you are looking in. If you want me to break down a specific neighborhood or specific area here in Sarasota, drop it in the comments and I can make a video on that. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.